Hi, and welcome to the latest edition of the DNA Community Podcast. I am Adam R. Jacobson. This is Dana B. It's so great to be here with you from the Soulful Steep. We are in beautiful Pompano Beach, Florida, and we'll share a little bit more about Soulful Steep in this podcast, which focuses on a section of Pompano Beach that you may not know about, but is certainly worthy of your attention. And that's what this discussion is going to be touching on just a little bit. Right here, you'll see information about Leo Wellness. What is Leo Wellness and what are they all about? We are going to have a wonderful conversation with Dr. Irina Kerzhnerman and Christina Szesnat on this episode of the
DNA Community Podcast.
And be sure to follow us and subscribe and like us on YouTube. That's where you'll find our channel. And to give you a little bit more of a perspective on how we are here and how we found this section of Old Town Pompano Beach, I'm going to turn to Dana B, because it all came down to Kelsey Montague in a way.
Montague, yes.
Yes, why don't you explain?
So we learned that she had a mural here. If you're not familiar with Kelsey Montague, you can find her on social media. She is all around the world. Her and her sister and her family travel the world and create these beautiful installations, or not installations because they're painted on walls of wings. So over the years, I've got to visit several of them, New York, Detroit, and now here in our backyard in Pompano, in Old Pompano, on the wall outside, you'll see some still pictures in this episode. So not only was that what brought us here to begin with, but then our dear friends, Lisa and Brad, said, the Soulful Steep, that is so Dana. We got to come here. And we did. And I'm grateful to have connected with the community here. Christine and her husband and the people that are here just bring an amazing vibe to this space. And I'm so grateful that it's just a little bit down the road here from us in Palm Beach County.
Mm-hmm. When a lot of people think of Pompano Beach, they might think of a racetrack, which is now a casino. They may think of the pier, which is beautiful. And some of the things that are happening in Pompano Beach over the last year or so are quite amazing. And the community rebirth here in the Old Town section of Pompano Beach is what we're going to be focusing on this.
I love to see the communities come together to make things better together. And that's all what we're about, the DNA of the community.
And on Better Together, Dr. Irina Kerzhnerman and Christina Szesnat will be sharing a little bit more about Leo Wellness and how they are bringing mental health assistance, intelligence, and support more than anything to the local law enforcement communities in South Florida, 3 distinct communities. And it's a fascinating conversation that we're proud to share with you.
Yes.
Also wanted to let you know that the Soulful Steep has some wonderful food, wonderful beverages,
and amazing staff, and so many wonderful events that you can find out more about them on their Instagram. And we'll hopefully have a little bit of a conversation with the owner and her vision and how it came together.
That's correct. So let's get started with this look at Old Town Pompano Beach. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back. We're here today with Leo Wellness. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, whatever time of day we were watching this, or welcome and at Soulful Steep. We wanted to get in to learn more about Leo Wellness, and I wanted just to say again, thank you to Social Art Studio for introducing us at their grand opening. So thank you for that. And we were very intrigued with what your mission is with mental health. If you could give a brief overview of however one you want to take. We're here for you. We want to spotlight Leo Wellness and the goodness that they're bringing back to the community.
thank you so much for having us and giving us a chance to kind of spread the word about what we do. Our mission is to provide mental health support to our local police departments, our smaller agencies that would benefit that community, that benefit the officers of that community within a easy button kind of a situation. The thing that we talk about, the thing that we focus on is building the relationship ahead of the need. So what we know, because of kind of who we are all personally, is that law enforcement officers are not that easy to pick up the phone and call for help, or the people who help others very often have a very hard time asking for help for themselves. So what we found out almost by accident was that if you build the relationship ahead of time, if they know who you are, they'll call. So the model that we operate under is an outreach model that creates a relationship with the department, with the officers, with the leadership of that department, so that when a need arises, whether it's a community need or a critical incident that happens in that community, or a personal issue for anybody that works in that department, they're more likely to pick up the phone because we've talked before. They know me before. There's a connection that already exists, right? That connector thing that allows them to feel comfortable picking up the phone and saying, "Hey, can I talk to you about something?"
And do you have another question right now? Or am I going?
Well, when it comes to the law enforcement community in particular, how did that relationship come about? I know that in previous conversations, it was Highland Beach, Florida, where all this began.
It's actually Hillsborough.
Hillsborough
another
Beach,
age.
another age.
Yeah.
So I'll pick that up. So I am the wife of a police officer, and in 2020, my husband became the chief of the Hillsborough Beach Police Department, and he is very much a relationship guy. That's his leadership style. And so when he moved into that role, he wanted an open door policy. That's who he is, to build relationships. And having an open door brings you things. And there were days when he came home and was like, my door was open, I'd heard, but I don't know that I was the best person to give advice. I can be their boss and I can be their leader, but some of it is psychological, mental health things. And he didn't want to let that fall on empty ears or give bad information. And at the time, Dr. Irene, we were neighbors who had become friends who, as you do with your neighbors, you talk about your work. And so Jay shared one evening that this was a need for him, a concern, that something he wanted to bring in something to his agency to help his officers so that they could be their best at work. And thank you for Irene. She was like, let me meet him. And so this, just come in and meet the guys, turned in over the last few years into, hey, it's working. And so we probably put in about 3 years of introductory modeling, and then we're like, we have something that we can share. And so we're now in 3 agencies and poised to take on more. So, and really seeing a response that was surprising. Officers calling spouses, hey, my kid needs advice. I think there is power in having a relationship. I got a guy.
Right, exactly.
This isn't a big deal. I don't need to go, I'll say Yellow Pages. I don't need to go through the Yellow Pages or through Google and pray that someone's on my insurance plan.
Right.
Just going, I know someone I can call who's going to make me a priority.
Right, because you've already vetted it and already figured out the relationship, and all it started was that simple conversation.
Yeah.
And look at what you've created.
Yeah.
That is inspiring to me.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful that you have taken the initiative to create this for those that provide safety to us in our communities.
It's been one of those things where I don't think we knew what we were doing when we started doing it. And because I think there's such a need for it, the next step just kind of presents itself. We'll have a conversation about, yeah, we could expand, but I wonder what that would look like. And then within a week, one of us calls, so this is what it is. And so I think that the guidance of it just unfolding and the power of showing up with a tray of cookies. The power of sitting down and going, how are you? With a real intention of wanting to know the answer to that and not impassive. The thing that's been most amazingly surprising and wonderful to me is the value that the departments express. That the thank yous are endless. That's kind of my driving force. The thank yous are endless. We appreciate you making time for us. If it's not too much trouble, it's not too much trouble. This is what I'm here for. So that appreciation of you showed up for us in and of itself, without doing anything else, is beneficial to the departments that we touch. Because everybody in that department knows if you need somebody, somebody will show up. And even just that alone, the feedback I'm getting makes people feel so good.
So we're here at the Soulful Steep in Pompano Beach, which is a beautiful place. When we think of communities, and certainly Hillsborough Beach is a little different than Pompano Beach in terms of its community and its composition, if you will. On a law enforcement perspective, one may get the assumption that, well, Hillsborough Beach is, a little different when it comes to the law enforcement than a city like Pompano, which is in a renaissance and has had its challenges. So from a law enforcement perspective, are the challenges that the law enforcement community is experiencing and talking about through the need for mental health awareness and support, is the conversation one and the same
From agency to
from
agency.
agency to agency? Does it differ? Because again, there's this assumption that, well, it's more dangerous.
Sure. Well, there certainly are different demographics from city to city, right? I think that any officer who's wearing a badge, carrying a weapon, going to work, when we talk about the thin blue line, there is a brotherhood. Our communities blend. Hillsborough might be 3 miles on A1A, but it is wedged between Pompano and Deerfield. And it's not as if communities are not all, we are one community.
Take the same arteries to get to those.
We are the same communities. And officers, when they hear what happens to another officer, that is personal, because they can very easily project and put themselves in that moment. If you look at the news from the last month here in South Florida, we've had 3 very critical incidents. Down in Miami, a young officer shot in a traffic stop. A female officer, I think, up in Indian River County, who was shot during an eviction. Another officer who's in serious things. When an officer sees or hears it, it doesn't have to be in their boundary, in their district, for that to affect them on a very personal level, and create a need to express.
They can move through it.
They can,
Just like
it is a shared experience. It is a community.
Yeah.
So on the national level, this is a conversation.
Okay, that's
So the value of mental health support for law enforcement is not just a local thing that we came up with. We are by no means are we kind of going, oh, we've got something new to talk about. This is a national conversation. It comes down from across the board of just, I think, why there's more reception to it. Because one of the things that I've come across in introducing, and I work with Hillsborough, Highland, and Wilton Manors, 3 very different communities. The old timer officers, the ones who have 20, 30 years in, will say, if you had asked me at the start of my career if I'd be sitting at a table with a psychologist and we'd be happy to have you here, I would think you're nuts. That was never the conversation. And the next breath is, but we're so glad you're here.
we're evolving.
Yeah, we're so glad you're here. We needed you here, but it wasn't okay to have you here. So to speak to what your question was, yes, the communities are different, but this is a nationally recognized problem that there's not enough mental health support, that there's not enough easy button accessible resources to support the person who's supporting the badge, who's supporting the community, and it's that chain of events. So if we can contribute to the well-being, the emotional, mental calmness of the person who's holding the badge, who then can bring that calmness to the community who needs a solid, calm force, we've not just helped this one person.
Right. It's ripple.
They deserve that help, but now it's going to do this beautiful butterfly ripple,
I love the butterfly.
and become kind of something that benefits everybody in the long run. But I'm really proud to say that it's become a national conversation and not just a local one.
And there need to be layers. It can't just be one path and a hotline.
Right.
You know, some officers might have relationships pre-existing that can handle it. Others need, you know, so you need to have a variety of options for care and treatment. And with Leo Wellness, we have options. We have, besides mental health, we folded in chaplains because sometimes it is a spiritual conversation. You know, treating the whole body is important. Not.
I love that. Yeah. Can I ask a bold question now? How can the community support Leo Wellness? What is the action that you can call to people that are watching or people that learn about you through these channels?
Great question. Well, first of all, be nice to your officers. Then I'll have less work to do.
I love that.
Please, be aware that the people holding the badge are people.
Yes.
Right. So that's going to be supportive of anybody in any field. We sometimes forget that there are certain fields that there's a human being behind that. Beyond that, we are looking for donations. We're an up and coming organization. What we're trying to do is expand. So right now, these last 3 to 5 years have been entirely our volunteering, our time and space. And what we want to do is hit more agencies. And to hit more agencies and to expand our reach, we need to bring on people and we need to have infrastructure and we need to do all that. So it's the not as much fun business part of it that we could use help from the community.
Grants and donations we're working on at this point so that we can scale.
And connections to people who can help us identify grants and write them. And you know, all the stuff that there's 3 of us, right? There's the third party who's not with us today. We have our own skill set limits and we're trying to expand them every day. So if anybody in the community has a skill set that they think they can bring to the table, we'd love to talk to them.
Well, we're happy to have the opportunity to spotlight what Leo Wellness is doing.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything else that we haven't shared with people that are watching that you'd like to make sure that they know?
And the URL is leowellness.org for those that are listening.
Thank you for sharing that. Probably should say something profound right about here, but I'm just really grateful to be here and have this opportunity to kind of explore and share what we're doing.
What's hanging in my head at the moment is the old, if you build it, they will come.
Yes.
So we're going to build it, and hopefully that will invite the people who need us most to find us and kind of have that ripple effect of being mindful and careful with people's hearts and souls as they do what they have to do.
Because we are only humans. I shouldn't say only, we are humans. And to empower us as humans, we should lean on each other and not feel like we have to be there and do it alone. That's
Absolutely
my biggest thing that I'm taking away from what you all are sharing in my own journey is that you don't have to do it alone and you can ask for help. And if you have a structure in place that is readily available, like you said, that's like a click, like there's a person. I've vetted them. They can help you move through what is happening in this moment.
And I guess the one thing I feel like I want to throw out there too is Leo Wellness is about the officer, but our services aren't just for the officer. It's for the spouse. It's for the kids. Because if your spouse is not well or happy, or your child is going through something, you bring that to work with you. So if we can care for the whole family, we're caring for the officer, we're caring for the community. So that's an important part of the structure for us.
Each and every part of who the officer is what is at home also, not
Absolutely.
just at work.
Yeah. Because sometimes the stress is at work, and if you've got stress at home and stress at work, everybody needs a safe place.
And that's where
Rally together.
Most interesting is that most of the stuff that ends up on my desk is not work.
Mm-hmm.
It's the personal stuff that is behind the scenes, taking up mental space for that officer, that he wants to clear off that space so that he can focus better. So it has been historically more personal stuff.
And to throw out a little statistic,
Yes.
Officers are in more danger of suicide than they are of being assaulted or murdered on the job. So those inner struggles are real, 8 times more. So these are real issues that need to be addressed.
Yeah.
The danger is within and without,
Mm-hmm.
So.
For sure. And this, I feel, is the beginning of something that, like you said, it's a national conversation. So the more attention it gets, the more it can ripple out into all the communities, and Leo Wellness is doing their part. And I'm forever grateful. Like every time, if I could just say this, whenever I do a 5K race, there's always an officer on duty, and I take a moment while I'm running to say, thank you for being here. It's a little thing, but that has been, for me,
It's not a little thing, it's a big thing.
It is a big thing.
And the fact that we take the time to do
Yes.
that
Yes.
is a very important thing to do, but it's also, says a lot about
Yeah.
your spirit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
company,
picked up
track
on
like
that.
company, yes. Well, how's your tea?
It's lovely. I'm going to have some more.
Yes, we're going to try some tea after we conclude the conversation. But
This is a great place.
as I said, yes, we're at Soulful Steep, and this is part of a Old Town renovation or resurgence within the city of Pompano Beach. And Christine, you've been here for many years.
Many
You're
years. Both
a
myself
daughter.
and my daughter went to high school in Pompano, just
Mhm.
blocks from here, either direction.
What can you say about Pompano Beach today compared to the years that you've lived here, and where it is and where it's going?
Well, it's really great to see this space. We used to run here for lunch. There was a pizza place down the way. I don't know exactly which door, but this space of what it's become with the food truck Fridays sometimes, this is a great space with lots of great new restaurants. I love Soulful Steep. Such a great space, but it's really nice to see all of the revitalization that's happening. It's just a great spot.
And it says so much about community. People are rallying to make this a great space. And I was stunned for the first visit that we did, which was only several months ago. It was like, oh my goodness, there is a Kelsey Montague mural right outside. We have to take a look at it. So we come over here not really knowing what to expect. And we're like, what is this? Where did this come
And then our
from?
dear friends told us about this space.
And all of Pompano. I mean, if you go down by the beach, Pompano, the pier has done amazing things, and Atlantic and Federal Lake. It's really, I love that it's at Dixie. It's all over. Pompano's done a really great job in the last.
And the Goodyear Blimp lives here.
Of course. Well, that's always good, right?
What could be better?
And Irene, you are in Hillsborough Beach?
My office is in Boca.
In Boca.
Raton. But I do telehealth, so I am everywhere.
Thank you, technology, for when it works, it works.
Yes. But I'm not originally from here. I'm one of the New York by way of Philly, by way of Hawaii transplants.
We have all those cities in our families, all the states.
But that also brings up the concept of community not necessarily being physically where you are. We truly believe that community is in your mind and in your heart. So the fact that you've embraced this as part of your deeper community, what can you say as far as someone who has come here, who has settled, and is now interacting with people within this segment of South Florida as to where we are?
It's got a lot to offer. And I think it's not always easy to be an adult in a new space. It's always easier to make friends when you're a kid, right? But when you relocate as an adult, it's helpful to keep your mind open and recognize that you will find your like-minded people if you just go to your like-minded places. And then that sense of belonging and community just grows and expands. And then you kind of belong there, even though you didn't start there.
When were you planted?
Yes.
And as a Broward native,
Yes.
I'm so glad she's part of that.
I love that.
Somebody did the right thing by making us next door neighbors.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
And that was quite a long time ago.
Yeah, we're not neighbors anymore, but we're still friends, so that's nice.
I could probably see you now.
I know. Just not taking down the garbage can. So,
I have a lot of wonderful memories of that family. My daughter took her first steps in their living room. So, and her
wonderful daughter.
yes. And, I've known her daughter since she was like 7, I think.
Yeah.
6 or 7.
Something like that.
So coincidentally today, her 10th birthday party pictures popped up on my memory reel. And I got to talk to her today.
Yay! Oh, great thing.
So it really, community can become your extended family.
Agreed.
Even
You're
no
chosen.
matter when you meet
Yeah.
them.
You're chosen.
Yeah.
I love that.
We're really glad to be a part of this today.
This has
and
been a wonderful conversation. And I'm going to just display one more time, leowellness.org is the place where you can learn more. And if you want to contribute to one of the great causes that we're learning about here in South Florida, making it a better community than it already is, please feel free to do so.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh my
Hello.
goodness,
Take a
where are
deep breath.
we? We are inside the salt room at Soulful Steep, and this is where we're going to be conducting a one-on-one interview with co-owner Christina Abresch. And what a great place to be doing an interview. This is quite the salt room.
Yes.
So let's begin. No, we're not in the North Pole. We are in the salt room at Soulful Steep, and we're speaking with co-owner Christina Abresch. And she is looking very festive and very soulful as well. Christina, can you tell our audience a little bit about the history behind the Soulful Steep, how long it's been a part of Old Town Pompano Beach, and what it's really meant to the revitalization of this community?
Yeah, absolutely. So we opened just over 2 years ago. It was quite the project to get open, but we opened the doors about 2 years ago. And it's really been incredible to see how the community has just come together and how they're really craving and wanting a place like this to meet and to become better and just find time to spend together. It's been really amazing.
So the salt room that we are in,
Mm-hmm.
tell us a little bit of what it is made up of, how your guests can utilize it, and what it brings to humans when they're in here.
Yeah, great question. So it's a 45-minute session. You get a warm, cozy eye pillow. The chair I'm sitting in actually reclines, so you'll be at zero gravity, and all you need to do is just breathe. And it's really anti-inflammatory. It impacts our nervous system, our immune system, even our respiratory system. So you feel very light and clear-headed afterwards. People with pain or migraines, stress, allergies, even like insomnia and things like that, it's amazing for.
In terms of having a salt room inside what would normally be considered a tea shop, a cafe, a gathering place, what led you to go down that road? Because it's certainly unique and it's certainly fantastic to be in here.
Yeah, it's a great question. So my husband used to suffer from migraines, and we were on a vacation one day, and he was having a very severe migraine. And I found, you know, when you're in a small town and you're looking around, what's here? So I found something similar to this, and it said it helps for pain, and I'm like, well, you're in pain. So I begged him to go in there. He's a New Yorker and doesn't quite believe in things until he's tried them. And he came out after 45 minutes like a new person. The migraine was gone, light, and just felt amazing. We'd always had a dream of opening a place like this, the outside space that you just mentioned. You know, the community gathering, the cafe and dinner items and things like that. So we we're like, well, if we ever open that, we have to put a salt cave in there because people have to know about this. So it's been transformational for our health with immune system and skin and just energy wise and his migraines and everything. So it felt really natural.
Life-changing. What else does Soulful Steep offer the community besides the two things we've already talked about, the community space to eat and drink and be merry, so to speak, in a new age way? What else would you offer the
Yeah,
community?
that's a great question. So we're very locally based. So what you just mentioned when it comes to food and drinks, everything is made by local chefs and bakers. So we offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have over 60 different teas from all over the world. They're all organic and made by herbalists for different purposes. But we also do beautifully locally roasted coffee, kombucha, mocktails, and then we offer events. Everything from cacao ceremonies to open mic nights and IV drip events, like all sorts of amazing events.
What really struck me is that you offer piano lessons. You have a community member that comes in and offers this beautiful piano that you have in the space.
That's right.
So much to offer.
Every Sunday morning, they're actually free. So we really want to create a space where people can leave the chaos behind a little bit and whatever that means for them. We do psychic readings and all sorts of interesting things to kind of just find back to the present moment.
I love that. Find back to the present moment. That's the only thing we have control over, right?
It sure is. It sure is.
As someone with ties to South Florida for more than 35 years, I think that this is really a good foundation for the revitalization of Old Town Pompano Beach, an area that we've only come to know in the last few months, and some of our friends and people in the community have gotten to know over the last few years. You go down to the pier and it's remarkable. And if you even go back 5 years, people would be like, why would you ever want to go to Pompano Beach? This is astounding to see a community that's been revitalized, and the redevelopment here is certainly positive. How do you respond if someone were to ask you if this played a part in all of that, or this is just one component of a community really coming together to make something great?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, we really saw the vision when we started hearing about this, and they really wanted to create this really unique area that is completely revitalized, like you said. And there's some really interesting businesses that are coming in as well. And I think we've definitely played a part in this area. People are like coming from far away to support. And there's some really cool businesses here already, and I really think that it is going to be such a magical place. So I think we're definitely contributing to that, because the people that are opening are really cool. So I really hope that people leave their past thoughts behind on what different areas has been, because there's so much coming.
Amazing. To me, it feels like a blueprint that other communities can see how this has come to be, bringing community together to make it a better place for all. And very grateful.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else you'd like to share about what you and your husband have co-created here that the audience would like to know?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, I just think that we really need to come together and create this space where we can be better versions of ourselves, right? Because it is really a chaotic time, and people really want to feel as part of something. So I'm excited to meet you all, and for you guys to come and join our community. It's something really beautiful.
Thank you, Christina. This really is a beautiful place and a great addition to the community. And as we're all about community, we're really, really happy to be here with you today.
Onward and upward.
Onward and upward.
And happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Where can people learn more about the Soulful Steep? Is there a website they can easily go to that you can share? Social media?
Yeah, great question. So we post absolutely the most amount of things on social media. So we're on Instagram and Facebook. We also post a little bit on TikTok. We have a full calendar of things. Our menu is very extensive, so I'd come in to see that. We have hundreds of drinks and food items. So yeah, we are also working on a really amazing online store. We're going to be able to buy everything we have.
Ooh.
And
You
I
heard it
would-
here.
You heard it here first.
Yes, and we didn't even mention, but we also have a local emporium, so you can come and do like Christmas shopping, and we have all local vendors and makers, and yeah, all sorts of cool things here as well.
Wonderful. Christine, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the DNA Community Podcast.
Amazing, thank you.
Hello, it's Dana and Adam, the DNA Community Podcast, here to talk to you a little bit about our shirts.
And the space that we're in.
Exactly.
And wrapping up December's podcast.
Exactly.
Okay.
Let's start about the shirts, because we love wearing these shirts, especially when we travel through airports. We get so many positive comments. Where do these shirts come from, Dana?
If I stood up right now, you could see it's from the Boca Raton Museum of Art. We went several years ago with my in-laws, Adam's dad and stepmom, and we were very taken back with the art installation, and the message behind it is DNA has no color. As Dana and Adam, and you're enjoying the DNA Community Podcast, we thought it was only beautiful timing to wear this shirt today and share with you that message and what our mission is and what DNA Community Podcast is.
DNA, we are Dana and Adam, and it was something that we came up with when we got married. And yeah, we do have our colors. I'm green, she's purple.
Look at the orchid.
Look at the orchid.
Thank you, Social Art Studio, for all this space. Ariel and Chelsea, you've made an awesome space for content creators and photographers alike to come and be in community and enjoy this space. So we're grateful for that opportunity. Thank you. Happy to be here.
And Social Art Studio has been here just a few months now. What can you share, Dana? Because you've used this space before, and it's wonderful if you are a podcaster or you're in social media and you want to have a great hub to bring people in or do your own
a community
work.
of like-minded people that are looking to share their goals and their desires in community. I met some very awesome, amazing creators over the last few months, and there's all these spaces. Go to their website. You can book time. You can become a member. There's member perks, totally. And I love the vision that they created. Podcasting, photography, networking. It's all connection here. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Ariel Levitt, for offering the opportunity for us
And Chelsea
and
Jacobson.
Chelsea Jacobson, no relation.
No, because she's an EN. We're an ON. But yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to wrap up our December edition of the DNA Community Podcast from Social Art Studio in Boca Raton.
East Boca.
Downtown Boca.
Downtown Boca. From downtown Boca.
From downtown Boca. And it was great to get to experience the Soulful Steep in Pompano Beach and a little bit about Old Town Pompano Beach for this particular episode. We showed you a little bit of the square with the Kelsey Montague mural there. And other great things about the newly revitalized Pompano Beach that we do want to point out in this podcast. Get to the Pompano Beach Pier.
Yes.
Preferably not on a busy holiday weekend, but the new pier is dramatically beautiful and
It's a remarkable way to spend the day, and
it was one of your mom's favorites.
it was one of my mom's favorite places. I also want to give a shout out to some of the amazing restaurants on Atlantic Boulevard, in particular Vinhouse. I got to take my cousin's son to Vinhouse. It is a authentic Portuguese restaurant, and it's among many other choices there.
And if you have any more questions about what we're doing, you can always reach out to us on social media.
Mhm.
I'm under Dana B, your holistic connector, and you are?
I am AdamRJacobson.com. You can find me very easily. Just Google me and you'll find me.
And definitely. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you continue to see the evolution of what we are doing and what we are bringing to community. And we love you all.
So before we do wrap up, we want to wish everybody very happy holidays as we conclude 2025 on a very positive note. Get out there, enjoy the community in which you're in, and we'll see you in 2026.
Give yourself a hug.
Of course, why not? Take care, bye-bye.